All right, welcome back. It's been about a week. I've been kind of piddling around with it all week, doing little things here. I took the intake home and painted it, did some body work on it. I'll throw some pictures up here real quick. Did some body work on it to smooth out the top side, and I got the wrinkle coat on the curved section that goes down. I've got a little bit of a trick up my sleeve. I'm going to see if it works out or not on this pipe here. So that one is not wrinkle coated yet, but should be next couple days I'll have it done. So I've been kind of just tinkering with it, just messing with stuff. I got my overflow canister mounted. I got to go buy some line for that. I don't have any 3/8 line, or actually that's a 1/4 inch line. I don't have any 1/4 inch line for that. So I got to go buy some for that. I need about 6 feet to run all the way over and up and then down and out for the overflow. I got the alternator wire here. We did that last week. But I've got it now. It's in loom and tied in with the harness, so it kind of blends in. I got the booster line hooked up to the intake. Just little piddly stuff. Kind of clean up the wiring here a little bit over here. But today's goal is going to be fuel lines. Now, I've kind of been playing around with some of these. You can see them over here. I've got the half -20 to -6 adapter here. So I run a 90 there and a 90 down there. And then I've got some on the fuel tank, but basically I'm just going to run -6 lines. I just bought the Russell Pro Classic hose. I've used it in the past, had really good luck with it, so I'm just going to do that again. Got a fuel filter and a bracket. Got a trans cooler. Got a pretty big trans cooler. I just figured it wasn't a whole lot more. I think that was like $119, something like that. Bigger can't be bad. They do actually make them way bigger than that, but that's going to go behind there. So I got to take the grill out and mount that. Fab up some brackets for that. And I got a box of fittings over here. But basically what I'm going to start doing, I'm going to start working on the fuel system and putting lines on the, or ends on the hoses here so that I can start working on the fuel system so I can run forward. So basically the way it's going to work is the tank's in the back. The line's going to come this way to this frame rail and then all the way up. And then I'm thinking I may do the same for my trans lines because they came out on this side. I'm thinking about going up and over the transmission and then bringing them forward instead of trying to bring them down this side too, because I've got a lot of congestion going over here with wiring. So I've got all the wiring for the truck is tucked onto this frame rail right here. So I'm thinking about just running them down here and then tucking them up under there, and then they'll just pop up right here, boom and boom. And then also have on this side the trans cooler. So it'll come from the trans through the radiator cooler, out of the radiator cooler, through the supplemental or auxiliary or extra or whatever you want to call it, trans cooler that sits up here, and then back to the transmission. So that's kind of the gist for today. So I'm going to go ahead and get set up and get going on putting some lines on these, or some ends on these lines. Okay, so I'm going to show how I put the AN fittings on the AN line. Basically, what I'm starting here is my return fuel line here. So basically, this is the end of the line. I just wrapped up some tape to make a cut. I wrapped some blue painter's tape around it. Just make a smooth cut with a bandsaw. You can cut it with a hacksaw. You can cut it with a die grinder with a cutoff blade in it. Really, any way you want to cut it. I just found that the bandsaw works the best, and I have it at my disposal. So it makes a really nice clean cut. There's not much to clean up here. So the way these things go on here is I'm actually going to take this tape off here, but there it is. Can't find the end. And as you can see, there is not much to clean up here. So I just take my side cutters here and just trim it up a little bit. That's pretty much it. Get all the fuzzies outside of inside there. That's it. So the way this works here, now I'm using Russell hose and Russell fittings, and this is actually their Pro Classic hose. It's a nylon braided rubber, synthetic rubber. It's E85 safe. It's safe for everything. I know a lot of people say that they have fuel smells and whatnot in the garage. I've not had that in any cars I've had. I'm not planning on running E85 on this truck right now, so I'm not too worried about it. If it becomes a problem, I can always switch it out later. But anyway, so the way this works is this sleeve here has actually got a reverse thread. So you actually put that in there and you turn it counterclockwise. Well, I guess depending on how you're looking at it. This way, be counterclockwise. So you kind of push and you turn. And what you'll feel is this thing will start threading onto the sheathing here. And what it'll do is it'll bottom out. So you'll get to a point, like right there, that it bottoms out. So I'm just going to check it in the light, and yep, we are bottomed out. So that's that. So the next part is to chuck it up. And I actually have these, oops, as I break them, I actually have these magnetic jaws that I can put in my vise. And it makes this thing so much easier. So you just chuck it up like that. Doesn't have to be real tight, just holds them. It's like a second set of hands. These are nice because they're aluminum, so they don't mar up your fittings. But, and here's the other half of the fitting. So the way I do it is, this thing is tapered right here and it's threaded. So this obviously threads down into that sleeve. It draws it into the hose. So I put a little bit of lubricant on here. Well, they tell you to put lubricant, but I just put a little WD-40 on here just so that it won't bind up in the rubber tube inside there. So then you just start threading it in. There's really not a whole lot to these. I know everybody gets a little shy from these, and there's a lot of misinformation on the internet, but these things really are not hard to put together. In yesteryear, they were hard when they were all stainless braid, because you would destroy your hands, and it was a mess. But basically, with a stainless braid is you chuck up your sleeve into the vise and you thread your hose into the fitting. This is a lot nicer on the hands. But basically you just thread this thing in here, and this has got a standard thread. So you just push this, just turn this, it'll draw itself down on there, and it's a compression type fitting here. So you're just threading this into the sleeve, and you'll get down here to the bottom and you'll start feeling it gets a little tough, and then you're bottomed out. That's it. That's all it takes to put these together. So like I said, there's a lot of misinformation out there about how these work, but that's it. So makes a really nice braid, or a nice connection, nice fuel line. So I went with like I say, the Russell Pro Comp hose. It's got blue checks in it, which you can't hardly see it. So and I did the black fittings just going with all black. I've done the red and the black. I've done the blue and the red, and then I've done the chrome. But these are my favorite here. They just kind of blend in. But that's pretty much it. There's not a whole lot to it. So I hope this helps demystify AN fittings a little bit. So anyway, I'm going to get back after putting the lines in. All right, so after a couple hours, I've got the fuel lines done. I have got the trans lines started. I got to figure out, I got to mount my external cooler first so I can do that. So the lines, I got supply and return all the way back. There is a filter under the frame rail about right here, and they both run back all the way back here to the tank, which you really can't see, but it's back there. So I've got all the fittings on, all the lines run. I haven't clipped them up yet. We need to get it up in the air on the lift to do that. It's bad enough trying to run these lines when it's 2 feet off the ground anyway, so not a whole lot of room to work under there. But so I'm going to I got a tack module coming tomorrow so I can test my theory out on my throttle blade and my half throttle. When I push my throttle down halfway in there, the pedal down, this is open to 100%. So I got a tack module from a non-adjustable, just a Sierra truck. I'm going to test it out and see if that fixes that. So once it does, I'm going to put the seat back in. Well, regardless, I'm going to put the seat back in, put the hood back on, push it over to the lift so I can do everything on the bottom, because everything on top is pretty much done. I do need to mount the master and the lines going down. I need to put the headers on for good. New spark plugs in, put all the wires on, put this back on, and get the battery, which I don't know what's happened with the battery. I ordered it from O'Reilly, and it's just a Delco battery. I don't know what's going on. It's lost in La La Land, I guess. So once I get the battery in, I can make these connections here, easy peasy, finish that up, and finish up the trans lines, and we're ready to rock and roll. So it sounds easier than it really is, but there's a lot to do, but not a lot considering the amount of this project. The scope of this project has been massive. By myself, I've rebuilt this entire truck. I've touched just about every nut in this truck. It's a lot of work for one person. But anyway, I'm just kind of rambling now, so I am actually going to get out of here because it kind of got late today. So I wanted to wrap it up and kind of show how everything looks so far. All the fuel lines look good. That little blue check line there, which is pretty neat. I didn't realize that's what I was getting. So, yeah, so we're just going to keep on chugging. I'm going to go get the line made for the power steering. Actually, I think I'm going to go tomorrow and get that made. I figured out what it is. I need a 16 inches from center to center with 290s. So I'm going to 90 out of the pump here, run it over, and then 90 into the back of the pump. I'm just going to go to my local hydraulic shop. They're going to make just a line for me that will fit that up so we can finish the power steering, check that off the list, and that's pretty much it. So All right, so this is a little sneak peek. I couldn't get out of here. I wanted to just kind of see what this thing looks like. So I took the grill out of the truck and kind of had this thing hanging on zip ties, kind of where I'm going to put it. I'm going to put it on this side because my cooler lines for the transmission are on this side of the radiator. So what I think I'm going to do, it's actually going to hang a little lower. What I'm going to do is kind of get it so that the bottom of the cooler is a little bit above the factory grill here. So I'm going to have some angle brackets that come out off of this steel right here on the core support. Back up a little bit. So I'll have one here coming out and one here coming out. And I'm going to put probably an aluminum stock of some sort that runs vertically that mounts up here to the core support and down here to the core support. So it gives it a flat surface to mount to, and then put some angle brackets coming off of it to hold that up too. The oil cooler that was in the truck actually was like that. It was on this side. It actually worked really well. I thought it was pretty ingenious what they did. So they just went and just got some aluminum stock and made some brackets. So I'm going to go to the hardware store and do that and see what I can find, or actually make some. I don't know. We're going to see what we can do. But this is kind of how it's going to look here on the truck. Just kind of wanted to show a little sneak peek of what's coming for next week. Again, I appreciate everybody watching. We are, the subscriber rate is climbing exponentially, if I can talk today. I do appreciate each and one of you. Couldn't do this without you guys. It's been kind of fun along the ride here. But please like and subscribe if you'd like to. If you're not subscribed, please think about subscribing. So it's kind of fun. So good to see the projects that we're working on here, and the next project that's sitting right over here, this 66 Nova. It's a true SS car. So we're going to start working on it, do some work to it. But that's it for today. So I appreciate everybody watching. I'm going to quit rambling, and we will see you next time.